Hello, coin lovers. Welcome back to Old Coins News. Today we're featuring four classic Lincoln wheat pennies, 1937, 1937S, 1949, and 1955D. Stay tuned to explore their history and value. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent is one of the classic coins of the United States and belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was produced from 1909 to 1958. This coin represents an important period in American history, both economically and culturally. The 1937 1-cent coin carries the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, 1 cent, liberty, and in God we trust. Each of these words reflects the national identity and values of the United States during the early 20th century. The coin was minted during the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a time when the country was still recovering from the effects of the Great Depression. Even though it is a small copper coin, it carries a deep historical meaning that connects collectors with a unique moment in American history. The obverse side of the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States and one of the most respected leaders in American history. Lincoln is remembered for guiding the nation through the American Civil War and for his role in ending slavery. The portrait used on the coin was designed by the sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose initials VDB appear on some versions of the Lincoln cent. This design was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The inscription, "In God We Trust," appears above Lincoln's head, while the word liberty is placed to the left of the portrait, and the year 1937 appears to the right. This arrangement became one of the most recognizable coin designs in the world, and it remained largely unchanged for many decades. The reverse side of the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent displays two stylized wheat ears surrounding the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many, one. The wheat ears symbolize prosperity, agriculture, and the economic strength of the United States. Because of this design, these coins are commonly called wheat pennies. The wheat reverse remained in use until 1958, after which it was replaced with a Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. For collectors, the wheat design is a symbol of classic American coinage and represents a long tradition of artistry in U.S. minting. The 1937 Lincoln wheat cent was minted at the United States Mint, with production taking place primarily at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins produced in Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small D and those from San Francisco have an S. In 1937, millions of these coins were produced to meet the demand for small denomination currency used in everyday transactions. Despite the high production numbers, collectors today still value well-preserved examples, especially those in uncirculated condition or those that contain rare minting errors. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent is made primarily of copper, with a composition of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The coin weighs approximately 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters, making it small but durable enough for circulation. The edge of the coin is plain, and the color of the coin ranges from bright red for uncirculated pieces to brown for heavily circulated examples. Coin collectors often classify these pennies into color categories such as red road, red-brown RB, and brown BN, which can significantly affect their market value. One of the most interesting aspects of the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent is the possibility of mint errors and varieties. Some collectors search for coins with double dies, off-center strikes, or repunch mint marks. Although such errors are not extremely common for the 1937 issue, they can still increase the value of a coin dramatically. For example, a high-grade 1937D or 1937S coin in mint state condition may sell for many times its face value. This is why coin collectors carefully examine their coins under magnification, looking for small details that could make a coin rare or valuable. From a historical perspective, the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent circulated during a time when the United States was gradually recovering from the economic hardships of the early 1930s. Under President Franklin D. Roosevelt, programs known as the New Deal were introduced to help rebuild the economy and provide jobs for millions of Americans. Coins like the 1937 cent were part of everyday life, used in grocery stores, streetcars, and small businesses across the country. Because of this, Each surviving coin carries a silent story of daily life during one of the most challenging periods in American economic history. Today, the 1937 Lincoln wheat cent remains a favorite among coin collectors and history enthusiasts. Many people begin their coin-collecting journey by searching through old pennies and discovering wheat cents from the early 20th century. Although most 1937 pennies are not extremely rare, their historical significance and classic design make them valuable pieces of American heritage. Collectors appreciate not only the monetary value of these coins, but also the stories they represent. Stories of economic recovery, national pride, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln. The 1949 Lincoln wheat cent is a historic United States 1-cent coin that belongs to the well-known Lincoln wheat cent series, a series minted from 1909 until 1958. This coin represents a significant era in American coinage history, coming just a few years after the end of the World War II. The coin carries several inscriptions that reflect the national identity of the United States, including United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, 1 cent, Liberty, and In God We Trust. These words were carefully chosen to represent unity, faith, and freedom, values that were especially meaningful in the late 1940s when the nation was rebuilding and strengthening its economy after the war. Even though the coin has a face value of just 1 cent, it holds deep historical importance for collectors and historians alike. The obverse side of the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Lincoln's image has appeared on the 1-cent coin since 1909, making it one of the longest-running portrait designs in U.S. coinage history. The portrait was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, who designed the coin to honor Lincoln's 100th birthday. On the obverse, the motto "In God We Trust" appears above Lincoln's head, symbolizing the nation's spiritual foundation. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, representing the fundamental principle on which the United States was founded. To the right of Lincoln's image is the year 1949, indicating the year the coin was minted. This balanced design became iconic and has remained recognizable to millions of Americans for generations. The reverse side of the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent displays 2 wheat stalks, one on each side of the central text. Because of these wheat ears, the coin is commonly known as a wheat penny. In the center of the reverse are the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above these words appears the Latin motto E Pluribus Unum, which translates to out of many, one. This motto represents the unity of the many states that form the United States. The wheat stalks symbolize agricultural prosperity and abundance, reflecting the importance of farming in the American economy during the early 20th century. The wheat reverse design was used for nearly 50 years and remains one of the most beloved coin designs in American numismatic history. The 1949 Lincoln wheat cent was produced by the United States Mint, which operates several mint facilities across the country. In 1949, these coins were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint. Coins from Philadelphia carry no mint mark, while those from Denver include a small D below the date, and those from San Francisco have an S mint mark. Each mint produced millions of coins to supply the growing American economy with small change for everyday transactions. Because of this large production, many examples of the 1949 cent still exist today, though coins in excellent condition are more valuable to collectors. In terms of composition and size, the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent is made primarily of copper. The coin contains 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a rich reddish-brown appearance when new. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter, with a plain edge. When freshly minted, the coin has a bright red color, but over time the copper reacts with the environment and gradually darkens to a brown tone. Collectors often classify these coins based on their color and preservation, using categories such as red Road, red-brown RB, and brown BN. The color and condition of the coin play a major role in determining its value in the collector market. Historically, the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent circulated during the presidency of Harry S. Truman. This period was marked by economic recovery, technological progress, and the early stages of the Cold War. The United States was transitioning from a wartime economy to a peacetime economy, and everyday currency like the 1 cent coin played an essential role in daily commerce. These coins passed through countless hands in grocery stores, markets, transportation systems, and small businesses across the country. As a result, each surviving coin represents a small piece of the daily life of Americans during the late 1940s. Collectors are also interested in possible mint errors and varieties associated with the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent. Although the majority of coins were struck normally, some examples display interesting minting errors such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubled lettering. These unusual features can make certain coins much more valuable than ordinary circulated examples. For this reason, coin collectors often examine wheat pennies closely using magnifying tools to look for unique characteristics that might indicate a rare variety. Today, the 1949 Lincoln wheat cent remains a popular coin among collectors, especially those who enjoy building complete sets of wheat pennies. Because the coin is more than 70 years old, it offers collectors a tangible connection to American history. Many people first become interested in coin collecting by discovering wheat pennies in old collections, piggy banks, or inherited coin jars. Even though most examples are worth only a small premium above face value, their historical significance and classic design make them treasured items for collectors around the world. The 1955 D Lincoln wheat cent is an important coin in the history of United States coinage and belongs to the famous Lincoln wheat cent series, which was minted from 1909 until 1958. This 1-cent coin carries several meaningful inscriptions that reflect the values and national identity of the United States. On the coin you will see the words United States of America, e pluribus unum, 1 cent, liberty, and in God we trust. These inscriptions represent unity, freedom, and faith, principles that have long been associated with the American nation. Although the coin has a face value of only 1 cent, it holds a significant place in numismatic history and is widely collected by coin enthusiasts around the world. The obverse side of the 1955 D Lincoln wheat cent features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States and one of the most admired figures in American history. Lincoln led the nation during the American Civil War and played a crucial role in preserving the Union and ending slavery. His image first appeared on the 1-cent coin in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of his birth. The portrait was designed by the Lithuanian-American sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose artistic work became one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. Above Lincoln's head is a motto, "In God We Trust," which expresses a nation's reliance on faith. To the left of the portrait is the word liberty, representing the core principle of American democracy, while the year 1955 appears on the right side of the portrait. The small letter D under the date indicates that this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, one of the major facilities of the United States Mint. The Denver Mint has produced millions of coins for circulation since it opened in 1906. During 1955, the United States required a large supply of penny for everyday transactions, so the Denver facility struck a large number of 1955 D cents. Because of this high production, many of these coins still exist today, though examples in excellent condition are much more desirable to collectors. The reverse side of the 1955 D Lincoln wheat cent displays two elegant wheat ears that curve along the left and right sides of the coin. Because of these wheat stalks, the coin is commonly known as a wheat penny. In the center of the reverse design appear the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above them is the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which translates to out of many, one. This phrase symbolizes the unity of the many states that form the United States. The wheat ears represent agricultural strength and prosperity, reflecting the importance of farming in the American economy during the early 20th century. The wheat design remained on the reverse of the penny until 1958, after which it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. In terms of physical characteristics, the 1955 D Lincoln wheat cent is composed mainly of copper. The coin contains 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a distinctive reddish color when newly minted. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter with a smooth and plain edge. When freshly struck, the coin has a bright red appearance, but over time the copper reacts with air and moisture, gradually turning darker brown. Collectors often classify these coins based on color categories such as red Rhode, red-brown RB, and brown BN. Coins that still retain their original red color are considered the most desirable and can command higher prices in the collector market. The year 1955 is particularly famous in the world of coin collecting because of the rare 1955 double die Lincoln cent, an era coin that shows dramatic doubling in the lettering on the obverse. However, that famous variety was produced in Philadelphia without a mint mark. The 1955D version from Denver does not have the same dramatic double die error, but collectors still search for minor varieties, die cracks, and other minting irregularities. Occasionally, coins may appear with off-center strikes, repunch mint marks, or other unusual features that make them more valuable than normal examples. The historical context of the 1955D Lincoln wheat cent is also interesting. The coin was produced during the presidency of Dwight D. Eisenhower, a time when the United States was experiencing economic growth and technological progress. The 1950s were marked by the expansion of highways, the rise of suburban communities, and the growth of consumer culture. Small coins like the 1-cent piece were essential for daily transactions in grocery stores, vending machines, public transportation, and local businesses. Millions of Americans handled these coins every day, often without realizing that they were carrying a piece of history. For modern coin collectors, the 1955D Lincoln wheat cent remains a popular and affordable collectible. Because a coin is part of the Wheat Penny series, many collectors aim to complete a full set from 1909 to 1958. Finding a well-preserved 1955D cent can be satisfying, especially when the coin shows strong details in Lincoln's portrait and the wheat ears on the reverse. Uncirculated coins preserved in mint state condition are particularly desirable, and some are graded and sealed by professional grading services to protect their condition. The 1942 Lincoln cent is a fascinating piece of American numismatic history, minted during a pivotal time in both U.S. and world history. Officially struck by the United States Mint, these 1-cent coins bear the familiar inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, 1 cent, liberty, and in God we trust. The obverse features the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which was first designed by Victor David Brenner in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Lincoln's profile, facing right, dominates a coin with a dignified expression, capturing both his strength and the solemnity appropriate for the nation's wartime era. His name, Liberty, is inscribed to the left, while the year of minting, 1942, appears to the right of his bust. Above Lincoln's head, the national motto, In God We Trust, arches elegantly, reinforcing the values and unity of the United States during a period of global conflict. The reverse of the 1942 cent features a traditional wheat ears design, also introduced by Brenner in 1909. Two stylized wheat stalks frame the outer edges of the coin, symbolizing prosperity and the agricultural foundation of the nation. Between these wheat ears, the denomination 1 cent sits prominently in the center, while United States of America is inscribed above. Beneath the denomination, the Latin phrase E pluribus unum is engraved, signifying the unity of the states forming a single nation. The design is remarkably simple yet elegant, reflecting both the economic constraints of the era and the enduring symbolism of American ideals. Collectors often admire the 1942 Lincoln cent for its clear, sharp strikes and historical significance rather than for intricate artistry, as it represents a bridge between pre-war and wartime minting practices. Minted in 3 primary locations, the Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S, mints, the 1942 Lincoln cents were part of a larger effort by the U.S. Mint to maintain coin circulation during World War II, when resources and metals were increasingly allocated for the war effort. Millions of these coins are produced to meet the demand of a rapidly expanding economy supporting the war. Interestingly, 1942 also saw the beginning of experiments with alternative metals in pennies, eventually leading to the famous 1943 steel cents, though the standard Lincoln cent of 1942 remained composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. This alloy gives a coin its characteristic reddish-brown hue that darkens with age, and the metal content makes it relatively soft and susceptible to wear, yet durable enough to survive circulation for decades. Coins from this year exhibit subtle differences in weight and diameter consistency depending on the mint, but all measure approximately 19.05 millimeters in diameter and weigh 3.11 grams, with a thickness of 1.52 millimeters. One of the most notable aspects of the 1942 Lincoln cent is the presence of die varieties and errors, which make it highly collectible. Among these, some coins display doubling on the date or inscriptions, known as double die obverse, which can significantly increase a coin's value to collectors. Other rarities include off-center strikes, die cracks, and variations in placement of the D or S mint mark, which indicate the coin's production anomalies and the human element inherent in mid-20th century minting. Despite these minor imperfections, the 1942 penny circulated widely and became a common, everyday object for Americans during a challenging era, symbolizing continuity, stability, and national pride amid the upheaval of war. In terms of numismatic value, most 1942 Lincoln cents are considered common date coins, especially those from Philadelphia, due to high mintage numbers exceeding 1 billion pieces across all mints. However, condition plays a crucial role in determining collectible worth. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services, such as PCGS or NGC, can command premium prices, particularly for coins with sharp details, minimal wear, and attractive copper color. Collectors also prize 1942D and 1942S pennies, which, although produced in large quantities, may be less frequently found in uncirculated condition. The coin's historical context, bridging pre-war America and the wartime economy, adds intangible value that appeals to both new collectors and seasoned numismatists. In addition, the coin serves as a tangible connection to Abraham Lincoln, one of the most revered U.S. presidents, whose legacy is forever etched in the nation's currency. The 1942 Lincoln cent also holds educational significance. Its circulation coincided with a period when the United States was mobilizing for World War II, engaging citizens in war bonds, rationing, and national campaigns that emphasized unity and sacrifice. As such, the coin becomes a small but meaningful artifact of the era, connecting everyday commerce to a larger historical narrative. The wheat ears design on the reverse subtly reminds Americans of agricultural roots, emphasizing food security during wartime. Meanwhile, Lincoln's visage on the obverse embodies the values of leadership, perseverance, and equality, qualities that resonated deeply with a nation under pressure. Collectors often reflect on these themes when acquiring 1942 cents, viewing the coin not merely as currency but as a piece of living history that tells a story of resilience and continuity. In conclusion, the 1942 Lincoln wheat cent is a remarkable coin that blends artistry, history, and cultural significance. Its familiar inscriptions, United States of America, E pluribus unum, 1 cent, liberty, and In God We Trust, serve as enduring reminders of the ideals upon which the nation was built. From its sharp obverse portrait of Abraham Lincoln to the symbolic wheat ears on the reverse, the coin represents the economic, social, and historical landscape of early 1940s America. While most examples are common and easily obtained, rarities, die varieties, and well-preserved specimens attract keen interest from collectors, offering both financial and educational value. Whether studied for historical insight, collected for personal enjoyment, or admired for its design, the 1942 Lincoln cent remains a cornerstone of American numismatics and a cherished emblem of a nation's perseverance during one of its most challenging periods.